want to bring more attention to the conscious evolving and the Christ consciousness grid that I discussed in my last video. Truth is, evolution itself always had a plot hole. These beings adapted to the environment around them by changing their DNA to get new traits. But what I ask is, how did their own cells realize that they needed to change? So that's what we're going to be discussing today. And the truth of the matter is that right now, we're in a disharmonic state of reality. We keep wanting to get more and more and more and don't think about the animals around us. Whereas the animals and plants, they're really codependent with each other in this symbiotic relationship. They're really sensitive to their own environment. They love each other. Even birds, interspecies, they communicate with each other. And eventually, if animals trust you enough, they form relationships with you. If you feed them and stuff. Sometimes cats show up to your door. And instead of getting annoyed by them, you give them food. And then they start living with you as your pet. Wouldn't it be beautiful? So, in order to understand our own evolution, let's bring our attention to this planet. When our planet had no life, it suddenly started having life at a microscopic level, yes. And that microscopic consciousness wanted to evolve. It wanted to perceive more. And it's striving to perceive more, in my opinion, is what it made it consciously evolve itself into something else. Plants. They became plants. They used the sun's light to grow in water. And then they wanted to be able to move. So they evolved into that. And then so on and so forth. Flies. If you observe flies for a good hour, you see that they're really hardworking people, but they get predated pretty easily. They're not sensitive to the surroundings around them. So in order to survive, these flies, what they did is they evolved consciously into honeybees and wasps. They had defense mechanisms against predators, and they have hair around them to be more sensitive to the environment around them. And the truth of it all is that evolution will keep happening. Even when humans evolve to the point where we're not even visible in this dimension because we're not stalked by light anymore, we'll still continue to evolve until we reach Source itself. We become everything. Until we become one with Source, we'll keep evolving on and on. That's why whenever you see an enlightened person, they're one with everything, because that's what truly evolving means. If we're living our lives not even breathing by ourselves, not even being aware of our surroundings, not even participating with nature, is that a way to live? Do you want to live the rest of your life half dead? And people bring another bad thing to the mix. They add people to it. They add people to their lives. And that creates a system within their minds that constantly has to stop itself because it's listening to the voices of other people instead of doing what it truly wants. And our parents use these punishment reward systems to conditionally love us, to make us think that love is conditional. And that makes us unknown from love itself. We just chase senseless things because we want to be loved. We want to feel what love is like. We want to become infinite, and we want more money. We want more food. We want more clothes, more video games, more cars. We're just trying to be infinite. And if you constantly go on a more important basis, you can't be infinite. But what is directly proportional to infinity? Silence. And I think just by simply sitting for a long period of time can lead to our own evolution. we could become conscious of everything around us and integrate it within ourselves, that's how we'll evolve. How else can we evolve? And what are we evolving into? The human body has 2 gene strands, according to scientists. And they even did the Human Genome Project, in which they had 24,000 something genes, right? But if those genes were accumulated, it was brought to attention that these genes would only make up for the genes of an earthworm. And we're clearly not an earthworm, so where are the rest of our genes? We have 2 strands in this material reality, but they're strands that aren't visible. And as we become those strands, they become visible in our own experience. Our whole body, our whole cellular structure changes, which is why epigenetics happens. Our genes are changing as well. They don't stay the same. Yes, our characteristics, our traits stay the same relatively, but as our consciousness changes, as our thought momentum changes, the way we see ourselves changes, our body also changes, and our mind also changes. And if we could access even 1% of that conscious change, then we start evolving, then we start unlocking our infinite power. Even 1% of it would turn you into a superhuman, into a super intelligent human being, pulling knowledge out of nothing and being conscious of everything around you. Just being happy, simply, with being yourself instead of chasing other goals. That is evolution. We are in the 2nd level of human consciousness. We're on the 3rd density because the 1st density is plants. They're so omnipotent, but we're not. The 2nd density is animals. They have emotions, but they're not as aware as us. Now, all these beings have a consciousness, and it doesn't mean that they're any more dumber than us, that they're on a lower level. It just means that they perceive reality in a completely different way. For all I know, my dog is more enlightened than I am, because if it gets its food, it can simply sit and plants while they produce their own food. So they're probably like better off, right? But we are on the 3rd density in our own evolution. Now, whenever I saw the evolution chart, I always thought there was a missing link. How did we go from monkeys into human beings? I think our DNA was spliced, combined with alien DNA, the story of Nibiru, which I'll discuss on a later time. Our genes were combined with aliens to create our advanced bodies, and these bodies can do so much, so much. So much we haven't discovered. So many parts of the body that scientists have told you, oh, it's not even important to teach about, right? Like the pineal gland, like the thyroid gland, like so many glands of your body, like your heart's neural system. No. Your heart doesn't have a brain. It's just involuntary. Truth is, we make more assumptions about the world than actual evidence. So this whole thing about looking for evidence is a failure in itself. If you want to truly evolve, become involved with everything around you. Love everything around you. Become conscious of your thoughts. Just sit with your thoughts. Be with your thoughts, no matter how negative they are. That is the key to your evolution. Expand your consciousness. Strive to expand your experience. Do things that would change your experience. Change your habits. Change the way you act. Change the dumbass TV programs that you watch all the time. Change that. And then see how your life changes. Like last year, I decided to breathe on my own and keep my back straight all day and stop watching TV and go on a vegetarian lifestyle. And I felt blissful. Each cell in my body was bursting with enlightenment all fucking day. And I did it for a fucking week, man. And now, I'm working myself back to that state of mind. Changing who I am, according to myself, not according to other people. I don't have to change myself for other people. I'm gonna change myself for myself. And that That is conscious evolution. Thank you for watching. If you like my videos, if you want me to make a video about any of your problems you have psychologically, spiritually, or in anything, any concerns that you have, let me know in the comments. Any questions you have, let me know in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe. Thank you. Let's raise the consciousness of this planet together. Kuma King. The reason we want to evolve is because we want to perceive more than what we're perceiving right now. We want to feel certain things. We want to feel happy. But right now we're setting our goals in the future for our happiness. And evolution is just sitting by yourself and realizing that this is the best you're going to get. The present moment is the only thing you have under your control. And yes, sometimes if you accumulate and organize the present moment, one moment by the other, then you can create enough momentum to create change within your life. And that is evolution. When we evolve as our species right now, we'll be more together than anything else. We'll feel love. We'll feel like a lot of things. We'll perceive reality completely different than how we're perceiving it right now. Right now, if light stops an object, I can see it, but I cannot see anything microscopic going on, and everything that's beyond the thing of my eye is so mystical. There's some big things that I can't see through my eyes. There's some small things that I can't see through my eyes. We're all empty space of atoms in the end, and I can't see that with my eyes. But when we go into the when we go into the fifth density, which is our third level of consciousness, we start to become more one with each other, and our superhuman abilities start to come into play. I've seen a lot of people on the internet right now, and like even in real life, with the ability to change their own DNA just by thinking it, change their eye color, change their hair color, and it's just amazing that these people can actually do that. Fuck. Like, holy. And like, I think it'll go beyond that. We will become the gods we are seeking in a way. And the reality above this one will be way different, and the rules will be way different. And that's what I think what we're going to do as a species, right? Now, I don't even know how most of this works. I'm just telling you my perspective of evolution itself, but I think there's a huge shift happening on the planet, and I think you can feel it as well. There's more war than ever. There's more violence than ever, but there's also more conscious evolution than ever. I've never seen this amount of evolution happening at the same time. So many science discoveries have been happening recently. Quantum physics has just discovered that our universe might just be a hologram. A complex hologram. So, who is to say that we know anything about reality itself? So the point of evolution is to make humans more conscious, because we have more power on Earth than any other being right now. A single person has way more power than 100 people did a few hundred years ago. With this amount of power, if we don't consciously evolve, we'll destroy the planet. So, yeah, you must just evolve yourself as a being. See how you can go beyond your own problems. Not by running away from them, but simply by being with them, accepting them, letting the storm hit you, in a sense. And you'll realize when the storm hits you, it not only hit you, it also evolved you. Realize that you are magic. Realize that we are the gods we're seeking. We are the messiahs. Realize that. Realize how special your own DNA is. We don't even know 1% of knowledge about the human body right now. We don't even know how it works, how to use it, how to use its energies, how to use ourselves. We're just accidentally doing everything in our life. We're not accumulating our thought processes, our actions. We're just compulsively doing things and hoping that they accidentally that we get lucky in a sense. This is why conscious evolution is important. And I think when we do evolve, everything we've ever known will be different. Yeah.